29th, and we are talking about our third business planning session. So we so far have talked about some ideas that you can use for prospecting. We've talked about some things that you can use for goal setting. And now I want to kind of talk about what you can do to develop a cohesive marketing plan for your business in 2024. And I think marketing tends to be one of the places that agents will spin their wheels the most. It is such a wide bucket of things that you need to work on. It entails so many things that it's real easy to get lost in the sauce and not actually take a step forward and do anything. And, I hear it all the time that I'll spend half an hour just trying to find something to post, and it shouldn't be that way. Okay. So I've got a couple ideas here. I've got a couple things that may help you understand this is going to work. And then I've got some actionable things for going forward. So again, I am not a presentation guy. I am a conversation guy. So if you have any questions or you have feedback, there's something that you want to talk about, or even something that you would like us to do a deeper training on, please let me know. Mary and I already talked this morning about how if there's any things that you think we as a company need to do a deeper dive on and give a little bit more information on, we want to know that information so we can help you be successful. But we only know what you need if you tell us. Otherwise, we're just going to guess, okay? So that's an important takeaway. If you have any questions, stop me, raise your hand, put it in the chat, and we'll get that addressed, okay? So the biggest piece that I want you to remember when it comes to thinking about your marketing is, what does a cohesive plan look like? And I did a video a couple weeks ago about what's it like to walk in the front door of your business. And if you haven't seen that video, I put it in the Facebook group, and I think I emailed it out as well, that you can go back and look. It's one of our manager members. But picture yourself owning a store or a restaurant or something. How are you going to go into that store or restaurant? You're probably going to go pull up outside, you're going to go through the back door, and you're going to take care of the stuff in the office. And over time, that's just the habit that you develop. And you end up pigeonholing yourself into is never seeing your business through your customers' eyes. So you may have displays in the front of your store that are getting kind of tired, out of stock, and they need to be reloaded. Maybe you've got stuff that's completely broken and fallen on it. It's keeping people from getting a good impression when they walk through the door of your business. So it's important every once in a while to take a view of your business from the perspective of your customers and your clients. And so we need to not do that here and over here and up here. We need to have it be together all the time. And it starts with some little foundational pieces, and then we kind of build on that. So we want to make sure that your information is consistent all over the place. So wherever you have your business, online or in print or in a sponsorship, whatever it is, we want it to be consistent. So we want it to be Mike Crumrine, Realtor, Coldwell Banker Premier. It's bring up Mike Crumrine, Realtor, Coldwell Banker Premier. We want that information to be consistent. Everywhere you put it, we want it to read the same way. We want your phone number, your email, and things to be consistent. So if you've got a business line and transition to that away from having your phone out there, you want to make sure that you've got that correct number everywhere that your business is posted, so that people aren't saying, oh, geez, which one do I use? Who am I going to get? Oh, they use an answering service. I'm never going to actually talk to this person. We want to eliminate all of that, okay? We also want to be intentional. Don't do something for the sake of doing it. We want to have a reason behind it, okay? And that reason can be a number of different things. That reason that we take a step for marketing or advertising can be that it's something that really resonates with you as a person. And that's going to let people know, oh, wow, this person's real dog lover. So am I. Wow, that's cool. I'd like to know a little bit more about them. Or this person spends a lot of time in fire and rescue. Wow, that's a lifestyle that I'm familiar with because that's what my dad did. That's kind of cool. I'd work well with that person. Or I want nothing to do with that. I'm going to stay away from them. And that's okay. That's the important thing. We want to be genuine. The other thing is we want to hear people talk about, or we want to hear the agents talk about concepts, ideas, transactions in your own words, right? That kind of lets people know, are you somebody that they want to work with? Okay. If you can't communicate very well, you're going to have a very difficult transaction. And some personality types just don't communicate well together. And there's skills you can develop when those situations arise. But more importantly, you want to present this authentic picture of your business out there, right? And that's kind of what we're after here. Does that make sense to everybody so far? Okay. Nobody's got their camera on, so
Yeah.
assume. So again, it's important to walk through the front door of your business every once in a while. The next thing is, are you findable? So if somebody is looking for a real estate agent in Leesburg, Virginia, are you somebody that they're going to be able to find? And even in a more rural market where I live, Woodstock, Virginia, our whole county has 30,000 people in it. So in this one town in this county, am I findable? When people search for the best realtor in Woodstock, Virginia, an option that comes up. I don't have to be the top, okay? Being the top is the next step that we can talk about. But is if somebody searches for a real estate agent in Woodstock, Virginia, am I an option that comes up? That's kind of the piece that we want to get to. That's what I mean by the foundation. So get to that sort of thing, you've got to work on these platforms. And what do I mean by platforms? I mean, do you have a business page for your book? Do you have it on Instagram? Are you on LinkedIn with your business? Do you have a Google business profile? Do you have a YouTube? When somebody looks on realtor.com or Zillow or Trulia, do you come up with a profile that talks a little bit about your experience and has your transactions show up, things like that? Yeah, Minnie, what you got?
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't on mute, but you just mentioned Instagram, LinkedIn, Google, YouTube, and then you mentioned some of those third-party real estate sites. Do you go to those sites and create your own profile there, or is it like a web crawler and it picks you up from what you already have out there?
So as far as a web crawler picking you up, I believe that there may be some places that do that, but for the most part, you can go in and you can set up to have your information, and you need to set it up yourself.
Okay, and is that at no cost or at a cost?
Everything I've mentioned so far is at no cost.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yep, for sure. There's something else I'll talk about here in a minute. There are 2 million places online that you can go out and you can put your business and your information and things like that for free. Every one of them is probably going to have some sort of a paid platform that they can say, oh, we're going to get you 20 phone calls or something like that. Okay, I think we're all familiar with what that's like, because I believe everybody on this call probably gets 3 to 5 quotes for insurance every day from the open market. That's kind of been the thing that agents have gotten hounded with lately. So you do not need to pay somebody money to promote your business. All of them are free that I just mentioned. There's some out there that may not be, but you do not need to pay for that sort of thing. Donna, go ahead. I saw you raised your hand. Hey, Donna, did you have a question? Okay, I'm going to skip now. And then, oh, go ahead, Donna. I saw you lowered your hand. Are you good? Okay. All right. I'm going to, if your question comes back up, just let me know and we'll stop and we'll talk about it. Okay. Okay. So I want to give you, Donna, go ahead.
All right. I think my mic is working.
Yep. It sure is.
I have a problem with Zillow. I have been trying to contact them for several months. There's listings in my account, and it said that my license needs to be updated and verified, and I put the correct license and expiration date in there, and they still have not updated my information. Have you had any experience with that as far as, keeping things current?
That's a great question. I saw some post about that specifically with Zillow. It was either Zillow or Realtor.com that they were having trouble getting that corrected. I'm not sure. Personally, I have not had that experience, but I've heard about other agents that have. Mary, do you have anything that you've encountered with that?
I don't. I know I've heard lately that people are having issues getting responsiveness from Zillow on several fronts. But we can see, I don't know, we might have some sort of dedicated rep or somebody else other than just like the general customer service line that we can try to reach out to for that, Donna.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so I'll make a note of that.
Yep, I've got one too. So yeah, anytime you guys do with that, please don't hesitate to let your manager know, and we will rope marketing in if we can. And we'll see if we can help you tackle that, because that's important. We want your information out there. Holly, what you got?
The easiest way to get that fixed is sign up for a demo with Zillow. You'll get a live person, and then you can put in a ticket and do a complaint, and they'll get it fixed for you quite quickly.
Okay,
We've had
I'll
to do that for a couple agents.
Holly always knows all the tricks.
She
If
sure
there's a
does.
way around somebody, we know it.
So yeah, we can work on that together, Donna. Sounds like it shouldn't be too terribly difficult to fix, but we'll get it straightened out, or we'll help as much as we can. We can't make Zillow do anything; they're not us, but we can certainly try. So I wanted to repeat what some of the platforms are. And Mary, I'd love for you to chime in if you have anything that you feel is different. But the social media platforms that are important are going to be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and if you want to, Twitter, or X as it is now called. The platforms for selling homes are going to be Realtor.com, Homes.com, which is what HomeSnap is now. And so you can set up a profile on there. Zillow, Trulia, and we take care of getting you on ColdwellBanker.com. Then, of course, there's going to be Google and YouTube. And Google is a little bit different animal to set up. It requires a much more in-depth process. But it is the most heavily used search engine, at least where we live, and it may be one of the top worldwide. So you need your information to be able to be there where people can find you. Again, the first step that we're talking about with all this foundational stuff is, are you findable? If somebody goes to search for a real estate agent, are you an option that comes up? That's the first step that we're trying to get to. Google also will crawl the internet constantly, and it will update things on its own. So when you've set up a Google business profile, is what it's called, it will go and it will find reviews maybe on Zillow, and then it will go ahead and put them there itself. You can't ask it to, but it will find that sort of thing. And that is a sign that Google is saying, oh, yeah, this business is legitimate, and look at other things that we found that we think are important and relevant. Okay. So that's kind of, Google's a little bit of a game that you have to play. And again, YouTube, one of the most powerful search engines in the world. It's just not geared towards websites, it's geared towards video. And so you want to have a presence on YouTube, whether you are producing videos or not. That is another place that your business can be, that you can have information and things like that for Google to find you. So those are the platforms that I'm talking about that are kind of key. And I'll send out a list of that later on as well, so you have them. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about how does Google work to find you. Google looks for something that are called web citations. And a web citation is any place that your business is set up. And the easiest way I can make an example is when you, years ago, when you started being able to say, I'm with my friend Jimmy at this restaurant having beers, and you could tag the location. Well, that service was provided by a place called Foursquare. And Foursquare was kind of a company that let you create a location for your business, for lack of a better term, that people could check in at. And that's where that whole process started. And Foursquare was an app that people played on for a while, if you don't remember. And so that kind of is my understanding of how citations work. It is places that you can tag your business, and then Google will then go pull all that information, and it'll say, okay, we've checked, we've triple checked, we've double checked, and we've verified everything. This is legitimate, this is consistent. And that's why you need your name, your phone number, your email, and your website to always be consistent everywhere. You know, if you start with your website being www.jimmyshomes.com, and then you change to homesbyjimmy.com, it's not going to know that. It's going to treat that as two different websites. Okay. I'm going a little bit deeper than I meant to so far, but that's kind of the idea I wanted you to understand. And if you look for places after you do the key platforms, there's more places that you can put citations out there. And it may include Yelp, it may include Foursquare, and it may include yellowpages.com and things like that. But start with the key ones, okay? And you don't need to do this all at once. So Google is going to crawl the internet and find all this stuff, and that is what's going to legitimize your business in Google's eyes. Plus, you have to be on Google with a Google business profile. And that is going to be the central hub for all this stuff to happen from. All right. So we've talked a lot about the online stuff. I wanted to talk about the different legs, and maybe I should have started with this, so I'm sorry if I'm jumping around. There's going to be legs of your marketing plan, and there's going to be an online component. There's going to be an in-person or a direct mail component, and there's going to be stuff that reinforces what you're doing, okay? And like I said, I probably should have started with this. Online is going to include Google and your social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatnot. Direct mail and in person is what are you doing face-to-face? What are you doing to get in people's homes? By their mailbox, through the front door, through conversations or the telephone. What are you doing to be a person in their lives? And then the reinforcement is parades, sponsoring the Little League team, putting up a billboard, and whatever. Those are kind of the three basic legs that I want you to think about. So with online, like I said, are you on the key platforms and do you use them? Do you post to Facebook? Do you post to Instagram? Google even has ways that you post to it. Your Google business profile will let you put pictures up. If you think of finding a restaurant and you look through the pictures and there's the menu and there's pictures of the drinks, there's pictures of the restaurant, there's pictures of the food, you can do that for your business. Homes you've toured, homes you've listed, and things like that. What you're doing in the day, anything like that is stuff you can post to your Google profile. And I know that many of you have asked for help on setting up a Google business profile, and I know that's something that's in the works that we will do a session on that. We just got to iron out the details first. So are you using the platforms? And are you using them consistently? And are you doing things in a way that you get the results? So when you have a property for sale, do you share it from Zillow or do you share it from your personal website? Does anybody know the answer to the best way to do that? Should you share it from Zillow, coldwellbanker.com, your personal website? Does anybody have a clue?
Your personal website?
That would be ideal, yep. And the reason being is when somebody clicks for more information, that call comes to you. Now, we're very fortunate at Coldwell Banker Premier that when somebody inquires about a property, the priority is that's supposed to go to the listing agent. That's like a sign call. Somebody sitting in front of the house, they dial the number on the sign, they get the listing agent, right? That's one of our policies, and I think that's great. But why would you share it from Zillow or Realtor.com, where somebody's going to click talk to an agent and they're going to go to somebody that paid for that phone call and somebody else is going to bring the buyer for the property? Dual agency and dual representation aside, is there any reason that you can't handle that phone call, answer their questions, and then say, okay, I don't believe in representing both sides, so I'm going to refer you to one of my teammates that's going to help you get this closed so that we can keep whatever I believe is important for my integrity intact? Is there anything wrong with that? No, there's not. You help the client. You put your foot down and said, this is the box that I'm going to play in, or this is the box that I'm not. So even if you're trying to avoid dual representation and things like that, you still want those phone calls because maybe they don't want to buy that house. Maybe they want to buy another one. Okay. Don't share it from Zillow. Don't share it from Realtor.com. Share it from your personal website, or at the very least from coldwellbanker.com or Premier Move if you know that's what works better. But we want those calls coming back to you so that you can get those leads from your work and you can turn your business into more business. You telling your story on these platforms. Who are you? Are you a football fan or not? Are you a hockey fan or not? Do you watch races? Are you a runner? Do you have dogs? And I understand that there's sensitive things that maybe you don't want to put up pictures of your kids and your family and things like that. That's totally fine. But people want to get to know you as a person. And that's what these platforms reinforce. When somebody says, maybe call that person, and they start digging a little bit and they find your social profiles. Oh, cool. They spend a lot of time volunteering. I love that. Oh, they spend a lot of time with their family. I love that. Whatever it is going to resonate with different people. And this is the way that you tell your story of who you are. And that is going to be a key piece of your business. People are drawn to do business with people that they can trust. So if you can create some common ground and you can create some rapport without having to have a conversation, it makes things go so much more simply. There's no better way to do that than video. Its next best way is going to be pictures while you're doing it and things like that, or sharing your thoughts about something that you're sharing. So if you read an article don't just share the article. Put a summary in your own words, because that's going to help people understand how you communicate, how you speak. And I think that many of you have probably had a conversation with me where I've said, okay, say that to me differently. Or I say, tell me that again because I didn't catch it and I want to hear it differently. Because I recognize that sometimes people don't talk to me in a way I understand it. It's not their fault. It's the way that I hear things, and vice versa. I try to be understanding of that. And if anybody's going through that on this training, don't hesitate to stop me. I completely understand. I don't speak everybody's language. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that work? How many of you take the time to research a business yourself before you go there, even if it's going to a restaurant and seeing if you look at the menu? Right? It's very rare in the information age that we're in that we just blindly choose a place to go for anything. We check out the reviews. We check out what it looks like. We check out what the food's going to be like or what the atmosphere is like. Oh, is there a band night? I'm not in the mood for loud and rowdy. I'm in the mood for quiet and, you know, being able to have a conversation with my friends and family. Those are really important things, right? If we don't have any of this stuff out there, any of this foundational stuff out there, we're not able to offer that to the client. And they're probably going to go with somebody that can say, well, at least I know what I'm getting with this, instead of taking a gamble. So don't cut yourself short in that department. So let's talk about, that's the big picture of what we're using online platforms for. So let's dive into social, because that's one of the ones that people talk about a lot. I'm going to go real basic here. When it comes to social, there's a couple different things you can do, right? You can interact with other people's posts and you can share other people's posts. And that's kind of how we play. And we scroll and we lurk in the background, not, you know, interacting with anything, but we're reading stuff, looking at pictures and whatever, even though people don't see us liking or commenting or anything like that. Okay. That's how the majority of people are using social media. But that doesn't tell a story at all. So you can post on your timeline, used to be called the wall, geez, timeline. Or you can post stories on Facebook and Instagram, right? The story is going to last for, I believe, 24 hours, and then it goes away. And you can go back and you can see the performance of how many people engaged with it and things like that. But nobody else is going to be able to find it. And then you can do a post on your timeline that is going to be there forever. Posts and stories can be video, they can be text, they can be photos. And stories you can post more of. They're kind of more of the day in the life. Where did I get my coffee today? What am I doing this afternoon? What's for dinner tonight? Or what are you doing tonight? Posts are, let's talk about what's going on with interest rates. Here's my 2 cents of what the next 45 days is going to look like in this business. Or why do you want to buy now instead of waiting 6 months for the rates to come down? Here's my take on that, okay? And you can do it as a little blip with an article. You can do it as a video. You just turn your phone on and talk to your phone, 30 seconds, a minute, put it out there. Of course, like I said, share an article, share somebody else's post and say, I agree with what they say here, or it's funny, I never looked at it right here, how I see it, okay? Doesn't matter, put it in your own words. Because if you just share stuff or you use an auto posting service, that's not really telling about you. You may be sharing vegan recipes and you say, I'd never eat vegan a day in my life. So that's not being very authentic, is it? Don't get me wrong. I'm a big fan of done is better than perfect. But I'd also really rather you do a lot less and just be genuine so that people know what they're getting. And I think that's the part that gets lost. Be genuine, be authentic. Stories posted to 3 a day, posts 4 or 5 a week. If you can be consistent enough to do it every day, that'd be great. And this is a goal to get to. This doesn't have to be a start this afternoon, let's post away. But that's kind of where I want you thinking. And the reason is that's going to get consistent enough that people are going to see it regularly. And they're going to see your stuff about in a day, but they're also going to get to hear your voice on different issues, and you're going to be the knowledgeable person in the real estate industry. Because we all look at the agents in the market and how many of them are doing another great closing today. Wow, sold another one. 5 offers, sold over asking in 3 days. Look at me. Every agent's doing that. But how many agents are grabbing the bull by the horns and they're talking about interest rates? They're talking about, should I buy today or should I wait? What's the cost of waiting? What are the different kind of inspections? What does it mean if there be so many buyers in the market that it's competitive again? What does it mean to forego inspections? And why would you not want to do that? Okay. This is the kind of stuff that can be put out that's, oh, they sell a bunch of houses. This person knows what they're talking about. Which person do you want to be? Because the person that knows what they're talking about probably sells a lot of houses too. I don't know. It was one of those things that some people listen, some people don't. When I was growing up, I was always told it's okay to be proud of scoring a goal, but act like you do it all the time. And that resonated with me. And that's kind of how I feel this works really well for real estate agents too. If you're not selling houses, you're not making money. You don't need to tell the world about all the houses you're selling. Tell the story of what that experience was like and how you helped those people. Okay. That's what I'm after. Again, post in your own words and I'll give you some ideas. Okay. Rotate through a review, do a video about something where you're sharing your knowledge, share an article where you can put a 10 or 15 word summary or call out or take away from the article, and then share something funny. There you go. 4 or 5 posts, you've got them spread out, and it's that easy. You don't need to take a ton of time either. Again, I'm going to plug Keeping Current Matters. If you're looking for a company that will compile information from all sorts of different news sources and make it very easy to understand and help you be a lot more knowledgeable about what's going on in the market, Keeping Current Matters is a free resource. They will hound you every place you click to sign up for a paid service. What that does is lets you hand it to you as an agent. Maybe there's value to that, maybe there's not for you, but you can get the information free of charge. And that will give you information to do videos, it'll give you information to have conversations, and it'll let you know what's going on in the real estate environment, right? From somebody's voice that's not in the company. It's an unbiased opinion. And I think of that. So that's the source that I use. So let's talk a little bit about short form versus long form video. Okay. It all can be done with one of these. Okay. I think we all carry one of these. And if you don't have a smartphone, you've probably got a computer. And most of them, I believe, have computers or have cameras and microphones nowadays. So you do not need to have Steven Spielberg production quality videos to get people to listen to you and to get people to watch you. Okay. In fact, one of the case studies we covered earlier is there's a young guy that decided to do a bunch of videos for Instagram, and he decided to do one a day no matter what. He did them in batches, and he sat in front of the same background and wore the same shirt in multiple videos. Doesn't matter, because people are rarely going to look at the whole collection at one time. So they're more so concerned about the topic that they're looking for information on rather than you as the person, if that makes sense. And that's how they're going to find you. So long form video is going to be longer than a minute or a minute and a half. Short form is going to be a 15 to 45 second blip that a lot of times, you may watch an interview and they take away this key thing that somebody said in the interview that summarizes the whole conversation. That's a good example of a short form video. Long form is where you're saying, let me tell you a story. And there's lots of different parts of the story. But the short form could be, ultimately, by being able to tackle this problem, we were able to get this family moved and settled in their house before the new year. And they were thrilled. And there you go. There's your short form, link to the longer video somewhere. And that's how some of these people are doing it. Okay. Mary, do you feel differently about the short form and the long form video? Or is that pretty much how you see it too?
I agree. I agree with everything that you just said.
Okay, cool.
And there's not to go on a tangent, but their AI obviously is amazing. We talk about it all the time. But there's AI tools out there where if you I think there's different uses for different things, and it's all about your comfort level, but at the same time, pushing yourself out of your comfort level a little bit. But there's a lot of agents out there and just people in other industries that will they're really heavy on YouTube, and they use long form video on YouTube to go really, really in depth. And they really only work once. They take those YouTube videos and they use an AI tool, like Opus Clips, or, there's a ton of them out there, and they will create short form videos out of that. And those are mainly what you see online. A really good example of that is Glenda Baker. All of her short form videos, those aren't little ones that she's just recorded in 30-second bits. She recorded a 10-minute video and then plugged it into an AI software, and it spits out, you know, dozens of different clips that she can use.
Yep, you're spot on. I've heard her say that's how she does it. So that's exactly right. Thank you, Mary. What I was going to say about that too is I'll give you an example of, oh, I don't know what to do a video about. I don't know how to talk about it. What if you had a YouTube channel that had two playlists, buyer playlist, seller playlist, and you did a video about all about the contract process, all about submitting an offer? What are the hurdles to get through? Okay, so when you write an offer in the state of Virginia, I'm going to explain the 4 different options you have for a home inspection. 1, you don't have to get an inspection at all. That's totally up to you, but it's not required. 2, you can you can ask for an inspection with the option to negotiate the repairs. Meaning, window doesn't close, you can ask for that to be fixed. Toilet's leaking, you can ask for that to be fixed. You can do it with the option to void, and the option to void means we don't want to nitpick. But if there's an issue with the roof or the foundation, we want the right to walk. We want to be able to walk away with no penalty. Or no, you can just buy the house as is. Okay. So you just want your inspection because you want the punch list of items you're going to do before you move in. You just want a lot of people say, I want my guy to look at it. And they just want somebody to come in, give them the punch list of the stuff that needs to be done, or if there's any problems so they can have it fixed and be on your way. So those are the 4 options for a home inspection. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them for you. There you go. You've got a 90-second video that you can put out there for YouTube. And when people talk to ask questions about home inspections, hey, I've got a video that I can share with you. Check this out. See if this answers your question. It'll save you from having to read a long text. You just share that. You know, what do we do when there's multiple offers as a seller? Well, what I do as an agent is I sit down and I create a spreadsheet that breaks down the high of each offer. You need to understand. And then we sit down together and we talk about the pros and cons and what the path to the closing looks like. We choose the one that works best for you and we move forward. There you go. You got another video. So you can break these parts of the contract process or the offer process or the period from contract to close up and just do a bunch of videos. 1, it helps you rehearse how you have those conversations. 2, you're saying them in your own words. So people say, I like the way they said that. I trust this person. That's who's going to help me buy a house or sell my house. And 3, when you're sitting there Christmas Eve with family and you don't really want to be working, but you've got the first time home buyer with 2 million questions, you're sending them videos that answer those questions and you're saving yourself time and headache. So there's a lot of beauty to using video, and all you've got to do is talk. Doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be high production quality. Lean your phone up against your computer. That's what most people do, or just hold it and talk to it. That's all it takes. So again, then you could take anything you did that was long and you could break it up, and that can give you short posts called reels or shorts, things like that that you can use in your marketing. So think big picture. If I do the thing, I have lots of stuff I can do with it, right? Again, when you say I want to start a farm, or I'm going to start going after expired listings, and you have this content, articles that you've posted and shared, videos that you've put up sharing information, and your words about something, well, then you can take and you can sponsor a post on Facebook, or you could boost a post. And maybe you could use that group that you're farming to, and you could pay for them to see that video. And then you could shift gears again, and you could mail them something. And that is how you end up everywhere. When somebody says, man, I'm seeing you everywhere, that's what we're talking about. You're online, you're in their mailbox, and you're reaching out to them maybe by phone or in some other way, okay? And they're constantly going to be seeing you. So that's the beauty of taking the steps to do all this. It sounds kind of daunting, but that is why we do this, okay? Any questions before I take another step here? This has kind of been a lot, and this is new stuff for some people, I'm sure. Any questions at all? Okay. So the next thing that I talked about, we talked about online a lot, right? Google, social, videos on YouTube, things like that, that all kind of blends and plays together. So what else can we do? Direct mail and in-person stuff, okay? There is a cost to a lot of that. Nothing else. It costs you a stamp to be able to mail something and what you printed it on. But direct mail is an extremely effective way to reach people, and things are tighter. Fewer people are doing it. People like mail. People check the mail almost daily. And there's certain demographics count on mail, and they're actually kind of let down if there is no mail. So keep that in mind. In person is you doing a pop by, or it's you networking. You go to the Exchange Club or something like that, or Rotary, or whatever you're involved in, or maybe it's an organization or a church or something that you're involved in person, getting in front of people. Have something valuable to share, okay? Most common question that an agent gets asked is, how's the market? You selling any houses? How do you answer that? Anybody want to answer the question? I just would love to know what people are thinking. Nobody wants to jump out there? I'll give you an easy answer that is usable every single time. Okay? That depends. Okay? You say, well, that depends. Are you looking to buy or sell, or are you an investor with some rental properties? Because the answer is different for all three, right? We're in the middle of a genuine housing shortage. If you've got a property available for rent, it'll be rented. Just sit back. Something will happen. You will get a tenant. Is there a way that I can help you with that? What specifically were you looking for? If you're looking to buy, well, there's not very much competition in the marketplace right now. So you can probably get an offer accepted at or maybe below asking price. You can get some questions from the seller. Are you a seller? Okay. Houses are selling for more than they've ever sold before. There's not as much competition and stuff as there was, 18 months ago. And the interest rates are up, but that's not really deterring people. Our days on market are still extremely low. And because we're in a housing shortage, it's still a great time to sell. Was there something specific you had a question about? So you start with a that depends. Are you buying, selling, or something else? And then you're having a conversation instead of, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's amazing. Or, oh man, it's crazy out there. See how one sounds like you don't know what you're talking about and another one makes you sound like a professional? Be different. Be the professional. Okay? Is the share. What do you mail to people? Some people do a handwritten note to the people that they do know. Thinking of you and your family. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope to see you soon. Take care, Mike. Some people do that. We have agents in our company that spend time doing 5 to 10 of them a day, every day, no matter what, and they mail them out. And they've got it broken up so that they can go through their whole database once or twice a year doing that. But if you want to take it a step further, maybe you can do postcards and you can share a case study of a property that you sold that had some quirks to it and it was more difficult. Tell that story. Maybe it's a letter saying, hey, I see that you own some property that you haven't done anything with. It's vacant land. With the housing shortage we have, there's lots of people looking to build houses. Would you be interested in selling your land? Something like that. You could share a market update. What's going on in the market? How many homes have sold in Winchester, Virginia in the last 40 days? What's the average price? If I'm considering selling, about how much money am I looking at and about how fast is it going to happen? You could also do a neighborhood update if you're farming. What's sold in that neighborhood in the last 30 days? And what did it sell for? Because a lot of people don't know that information and it's kind of hard for them to get. Be the person they can get that from. Does that make sense? There's a cost associated with that. Now, pop buys are a little different. Expired listings, you could do some sort of a pop buy. I'd leave it up to you as to what your approach is going to be, but I've even heard people drop off a bag that has 2 Tylenol and a chocolate bar. And it says, sometimes selling your house is a headache. I'd love to talk with you about what you think could have gone differently. If I can help, please let me know. Okay, that's kind of funny. If you want to do pop buys to people that are in your sphere, you saw everybody in the world bought a pumpkin pie over the past 2 weeks and delivered it to clients. That's certainly an option. Seeds and stuff in the spring is something people do. Make something, just a gift idea, and drop by and say, hey, I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you guys are doing well. Make it your own. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It's the point that you went out of your way and brought them something and got to have a conversation with them that's going to make the impact. So don't think too hard on it. Just do something that's you. And by getting to them and by getting in their door, whatever you took is going to sit around for a little bit. So you are going to be a face or something that they look at in their home. And then when they are browsing online and they see your videos or they see your posts or they see your take on things that are going on in the world, guess what? They're going to be more inclined to call you and at least talk about what's going on. Okay? All of this is to reinforce the work that you do. Okay? After you've built your foundation that people can find you and they can determine if you are somebody that they want to work with. After you have done those things and you are routinely and consistently doing those things, then I would say you can look at the things that are important or special to you. Do you want a billboard just because you think that would be cool? I get it. Like, that would be awesome. But they're expensive. And there is really no reason to spend the money on a grand marketing sponsorship or something, or a grand marketing gesture, if you don't have the foundation in place. Because, to be honest, people could search for Mike Crumrine, realtor, Coldwell Banker, and if I don't have that stuff in place, I'm not going to come up. So the only place they can get my information is by digging and digging and digging, or they've got to drive back to that billboard to get my number and call me. And by that amount of time, they could have found almost every other agent in my marketplace. So unless you have the foundation working well, don't worry too much about taking that next step to spend, $2,000 to sponsor this. Okay? It is important to do those things, though, especially if they're important to you. Don't put the cart before the horse. Okay, and I saw something come up in the chat here, so I'm going to check that. Sheila said direct mail that is not handwritten. Have a call to action of some type, plus make it eye-catching for them to stop and look at it. Handwritten. If your business card in, say your hello, then ask if they could help you find people that are looking to buy or sell and pass along my card. I'll reach out in a couple of weeks to see if you thought of anyone. Yep, that's perfect. Do you know of anybody? Okay, I understand. Well, I'll check back with you and see if you thought of anybody or you come across anybody. It'd be good to talk to you again, right? So again, conversations lead us to appointments. Appointments lead us to closings. That's the route that we're looking for here. Okay. Let's put it all together. Have you laid a foundation? Are you finding? I know I'm saying that a lot, but that's truly the big piece. Can somebody find you if they look for you online? Do you have your website set up? We are very, very fortunate that through Moxie, we have a very robust WordPress-based website. It's very, very customizable. Manager and marketing are able to help with that. I don't know if we're going to do any kind of training coming up. I'm sure we will in the next couple months about setting up your website. But if you're setting it up for the first time, it's relatively painless, and that piece out there for you so that it's kind of seeding in the Googleverse and working for you. Okay. And then, like I said, are you on those key platforms? Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Realtor.com, Zillow, Home.com, the places that people are looking for agents. Are you there? And is your information consistent? If you've changed brokerages at any point, don't count on that information changing automatically. You need to go back and you need to double check that, or they're still going to be showing your information from your last brokerage. And then people are saying, geez, I don't know, this kind of a mess. I'm going to find somebody else. Okay. Let's see here. Can people learn who you are, what you do, and how you do it by looking at your marketing? Some places you only get the option to put a biography, and some places you get the option to share in lots of different ways. So that's the difference between being on Zillow and Realtor.com with a profile and using Facebook or YouTube to tell your story. One, you just get your biography. Maybe people read it, maybe they don't. At the time, you're just going to look at your headshot and maybe who you work for and what you've sold and go on. And that's it. But on the social platform, you get things to talk about, or you use video to tell stories and share your thoughts. You can do blogs and things like that. You can also put stuff like that on your website, something to talk about later on. When people find you, do they get a sense of you and your character? Do they identify with you? Do they feel good about you? Do they feel some sort of comfort? Or do they say, I'm not with that person, no way, no how? And that's okay if they feel that way, because at least you get the fight out of the way before it starts, instead of having that of a transaction and it's just miserable for everybody. Okay. And you can always refer it. There's somebody that reaches out to you and you can tell that it's not going to be good. It's okay to talk about how to refer that and work with your manager. And, we'll talk to Steve if we need, and we'll get that sorted out. But don't discount that. Okay. You can always do that. Then after you have the foundation laid, you can work on the things that make you top of mind. The notes and things go so much further. And in those notes, you can say, I thought about you because I just recently did a video about downsizing. I know Jimmy just left for college. I don't know if you've considered that. There you go. It's a touch point for you. It all works together. It's all a marketing machine. You've got to have the foundation, because then you can kind of pull strings that connect the things. Okay. Like I said, you could use a specific video to tell a story to a group of people. I think that's kind of what I wanted to get the idea of easy social posts again. Share a review, do a video about something in the contract process, or tell a story of something you did recently in your business. Share an article, but put a summary in your own words. Share something funny, a video, a meme, tell a story, whatever it is, and do a case study. Right? That kind of takes care of what you need to do in a week. And you can take this and you can put it onto a calendar, and you can then follow that calendar. And that way you're not thinking about, oh, what am I going to do today? Oh, okay, I need to find an article. I'm going to keep in current matters. I'm going to find an article. I'm going to shoot a video about it, shoot the article, and share my video. Half an hour into making a video. Okay? Not just finding a picture to share. There's something I wanted to share, and it is going to be coming out in the lineup. But Brand has said something to us. Give me just a second here, that I think is really impactful. And I didn't have it queued up where I wanted to, so excuse me just a minute while I find it. Sorry. All right, now my computer's got it for a second. All right, can everybody see the PDF that I have here? All right. So this is an agent marketing plan for 2020, and Brand does this at the very tail end of last week. You can also find this in the lineup this week when it goes out, I've been told. But I wanted to just walk through it with you, because we put a lot of things together here, and I think that a roadmap may be a little helpful. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Did Mary?
Yeah, we can't see it.
You cannot see it?
No, Sheila can't. I can't see it either.
You can see
All
it.
right.
Crumrine is.
Oh, you can see it, Minnie?
Something that says Mike Crumrine is presenting, and then 2024 agent marketing plan.
With a lady in a vibrant colored dress and a plant?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well,
Maybe it's
since there's
me.
some that can't see it, give me just a second here, and I will see if I can share this a different way. Let's see here. Stop sharing. How about
It
now,
like
Mary?
it jumps up to like the top.
Sheila and I can see it now. And I think everybody else too.
Okay. Can you see me scrolling? Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So here, 2024 goals. Define your goals. Now, I talked in session 1. There can be goals for your business. There can be goals based on your transactions and your sales, but you can also have goals for your health and well-being, for your financial bucket of your life, but also your business. Okay. So health goals, personal achievement goals, financial goals, business goals, that's all okay. This is you and your plan. And you're with the type of job that we have, your business is a significant part of your life. And people want to see houses and times that you've got to make the choice. Is this going to be sacrifice family time to do the business? Or am I going to say, no, I'm going to protect the family time? This is all up to you. Okay. But this is a good place to put your goals. A SWOT analysis is one of the most handy tools that you can use. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, because it makes you break something down into these buckets. I love doing a SWOT analysis, and in my mind, I do them constantly. Maybe it's for you, maybe it's not, but it gives a way that you can start your marketing plan by analyzing the driving factors in your business, and then meet with your manager or marketing team to identify where your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, where you have opportunities, and what threats or challenges do you have. Okay. Action items. If you already have a personal brand, make sure you update your marketing for 2024. Dust off your headshots. Maybe if it talks about things with COVID, we aren't really in the COVID environment anymore. It's something that we've gotten to deal with. So we don't need to reference it as a central thing in life anymore. And I don't mean that to be insensitive. I just mean 2020 was 3 years ago. We're getting ready to go into 2024. Not to say it's ancient history, but it's not a central focus anymore. There's lots of things like that that I believe we put in place and haven't gone and dusted them off or cleared them out that we may need to go back and look at. Update your headshot. Have you changed your hair? Have you grown a beard? Things like that. Do you actually look like you? That's one of the foundational pieces I meant. Bio. Contact info and social media and things like that. Update your email signature. Include the Move Meter. That's a great new tool that the brand has given us. Things like this, okay? So again, you're going to get a copy of this document. I'm just scrolling around to make sure I don't miss anything. Gives you some ideas for email drip campaigns that you can put in Moxie Engage. It gives you the thought of, okay, once a quarter, why don't I send some people that have bought a house with me a report from Prospect Square showing what changes have happened in their neighborhood or with houses like theirs in their area. So it breaks down some email campaigns that you can set up. Is that a place that you need to grow in your business? I'm here to help you with that if you are. Stay connected. Talks about social media things that you can do. Talks about some print marketing ideas. Getting started on social media. It talks about it over here. And then it gives you this calendar. They call it a prospecting calendar, but they've also got some social and email things on here. All right. And so I would print this and I would write in it. Okay. Because this is a calendar for the whole year that you can talk about what days am I going to prospect? What days am I going to do this? How am I going to post? And again, you can line this up. You can do this for a whole quarter. You can do it for a month. You can do it for a week. You can do it for the whole year if you want to. And that way you grab this and you can just say, okay, today I'm supposed to talk about Fall Fest in Front Royal. Perfect. I can do that. And you've got it keyed up and ready to go. You don't have to think about it. It's telling you right there what you're going to do. And I don't mean to scroll through everything here, but there's 12 months in a year, so there's lots of calendar blocks here. Showcase your expertise. You can impress prospects by showing you're an agent who can get their home sold fast and for the right price by creating listing presentations that wow with Moxie Present. Okay, so it's calling your attention to, do you understand Moxie Present well enough to use it? No? Let's learn. This is a really, really helpful guide. I will say that we do not participate in Real Vitalize. If you have a property that may be a candidate for something with Real Vitalize, reach out to your manager. We may have a solution. No promises on that, but as a company, we do not use Real Vitalize at this time. What are some ideas for property marketing versus promoting yourself? Really important distinction, because you can use the story of selling a property to promote yourself. But when you're promoting the property, your goal is to sell that property. And when you're promoting yourself, your goal is to get more business. So don't think that just because you promoted a property, you promoted yourself. They're two different things. Sometimes you can blend them, but they are two different things. Education, ideas to build you and your skills as a person, even on up to being a global luxury property specialist. Networking ideas. Important stuff, right? And then of course notes, a glossary about some stuff here. But this guide is going to be in the I will in my recap of the event of this class. I think that that's a really good piece of info to work from. Like I said, different things work for different people. So I know I've shared some things and I've put things in my words, and it may not click with you. This guy does. And if not, I've said it the whole time, don't do this alone. I hope you've got a buddy that you've been working with that you can talk about, and you can discuss some of these things and what worked for you and what doesn't. What do you love? What do you hate? Okay. It's important stuff to line up. What am I missing, guys? This is the end of the class. This is the end of the 3 classes. I appreciate everybody for hanging with me and listening to me ramble on about these things. But what can I answer before we wrap up here? Do you have any feedback? Nothing? Come on now.
I'll go, Mike. I'm the new girl around, and I just want to say this is super helpful.
Awesome.
Even if you're working hard trying to do your marketing, it's good to do stuff like this. It keeps the creative juices flowing. You hear other people's inputs. So my feedback is this was wonderful.
Awesome.
The whole
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it, and welcome aboard, Pat. We're glad to have you on the team. We really are. I love this sort of thing. For those of you that don't know, I have a degree in business plan written for other businesses outside of real estate. And of course, since I've gotten to be in the manager position, I've spent a fair amount of time working on it in real estate as well. So I'm always open to having a discussion with people. This is something I really enjoy. I love creating ideas, and I love seeing them come to light. I really do, to completion and working and being successful. But the big takeaway I want everybody to have today, the foundational things, and get in the motion of using those foundational things. Use your website, use Google, use Facebook. And I don't mean just scroll, I mean post, share something in your words, whether it's text or video or whatever. Let people see what kind of individual you are so that they can be drawn to working with you. They're going to get a piece of information from you at some point. They're going to see your sign. They're going to get a postcard. They're going to get an email. They're going to say, who's this jerk? And look at, oh, this jerk loves dogs and things like that. I like that. Oh, they've got 2 kids. Like, that's a lot of fun. Okay, they're not a jerk. Maybe I would sell my house with them. And I don't mean that everybody's going to be harsh like that, but people are like, everybody's bugging me. I'm sure this is just another salesperson. No, this is a genuine person. They kind of know what I'm talking about, and they speak my language. That's the whole point that we're going for with this. All right. And then once we get through that, we can look at doing some crazy things like having an ice cream truck show up at your open house that's in your geographic farm and really wow everybody. But without the foundational pieces, you're not going to get the lift out of it that you were looking for. Okay. So that's some of the stuff that we'll talk about later on. For now, unless anybody has any questions, that's what I have for today. And this is the 3rd business planning session. So if you would like to have a one-on-one appointment, please reach out to your manager. And if your manager is not able to accommodate, you reach out to me and we will help you with that. Okay. Because everybody needs a plan for 2024 and everybody's is going to look different. So we are here to help you be successful. And that's our goal. All right. Whatever that looks like to you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the time. One more thing here. Sheila said, even if agents can't do it all, pick some of it, get started, stay consistent, and be confident. That's exactly right. You are who you are. You look how you look, and you have your personality, and it's never going to change, right? So let people see that. It's okay. That's who you are. And you want to help people with their real estate life. So be authentic, be consistent, and be confident. All you can do is be yourself, right? And that's what we're going for here. So I hope this helps. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great week. And I hope to talk to everybody before the holidays, but enjoy the rest of your year. Thanks, guys.